This video covers non-inventory parts, and I'm using the sample landworks_items file. You can open it to follow along, or you can just watch the video. So what exactly is a non-inventory part? Items for non-inventory parts represent products that you buy but you don't track as inventory. These can be things you buy for a particular job, and you plan to pass on the expense for them to your customer, or they can be things you buy as part of running your business, such as packing supplies, or those pens that have your business contact information on them. You can also create items for things you keep in inventory, but that's covered in the inventory chapter. Keep in mind that non-inventory part items can be used on both invoices and purchase orders. For example, a contractor who builds decks and patios might create a non-inventory part item for decking materials with two sides. One side would be an expense when purchased and would be assigned to an expense account. The other side would be assigned to an income account when the cost is passed on to the customer. I'll show you how that works later in this video. Let's go ahead and add a non-inventory item. Click Item and Services on the home page and click Item and New. This is a non-inventory part, so I'll select that here. And click in the Item Name Number field and type a unique name or code for the item. In the sample landscaping business, I want to add a non-inventory part item for cement I use when installing fountains. Cement is a material this business keeps on hand, and customers are not charged for it specifically. Let's just type cement, and I won't select this sub-item of checkbox, so I'll leave it blank, and I won't fill in the manufacturer's part number. If the vendor has a part number, you could enter it here, and this is useful when writing a purchase order for the item because the vendor will know exactly what you want to order. For now, we'll ignore this checkbox and leave it blank and click in the description field. And I'll just type cement. In the price field, you could type the price for the non-inventory part, but I'm going to leave it blank as the price may vary depending on how many bags I'm ordering. I can enter the price on the actual purchase order later. From the tax code menu, choose whether this item is taxable. Quickbooks provides two basic codes, which is all most businesses need. The video on sales tax will show you how to add new codes that you may need for special situations. Cement is taxable, so I'll make sure tax is selected. From the account menu, I'll choose the expense account to use to track the item. Because the cement is not charged back to a customer, the account would be an expense account, not an income account. So you can see under the job materials expense account, I have several sub-accounts, and in this case I'll choose fountain supplies. I'm going to click Next to save this item and create a new one. In some cases, you may want to use an item on both invoices and purchase orders. We're getting back to that checkbox we ignored earlier. In the landscaping business, I often purchase plants, such as trees, and sell them to my clients. I want to be able to use this item on both purchase orders for when I buy the item and on invoices when I sell them. So make sure non-inventory part is selected and click in the item name number column. I'm going to make an item for citrus trees, and it is a sub-item of plants and trees. And because I'm using this item on both invoices and purchase orders, I'll select this checkbox. You can see that the entry form expands to include both purchase information and sales information. So let's start with the purchase information. Click in the description field and type the description as you want it to appear on the purchase order when you order these items. I'll type citrus tree, 50 gallon. And then I'll enter the cost, in this case $46. And from the expense account menu, choose the account you want to post the cost to. You can see that I have job materials account with sub-accounts, and I will choose plants and trees. I have a preferred vendor for this because they specialize in citrus plants, so I will choose them, Harmony Farms. Now onto the sales information. The description, I'll just remove the 50 gallon and leave it at citrus tree. In the sales price, I'll enter the amount I charge the customers, in this case $66, and it is a taxable item, so I'll leave tax as selected. Next, I'll choose the income account, and you can see that QuickBooks has pre-selected the account that I used for the previous non-inventory part, but that's not what I want to use for this item. I want the income account for plants and trees. Then click OK to save the item. Okay, now I'll close the item list and I'll show you how this item works on both a purchase order and an invoice. So on a purchase order, I'll just quickly show the item column. And here it is, the citrus tree. Citrus tree 50 gallon at $46. Okay, let's close this. And on an invoice, you can select the same item, citrus tree, and you can see the description is shorter and the rate is what I charge the customer, $66. Well, that was fun. Let's close this window and on to the next.